says Conscious Few is live now. It's in there. I see it.
You see it? Do you hear me clearly?
No, I'm about to go to close the door because I can hear that.
This is frozen.
Did it freeze?
Can you still see me moving?
Mm-hmm.
You can still see me moving?
Mm.
No.
Not in the program. Did you restart it?
It's blank. Are you blank?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so you can't see me.
I really think it's that iPad.
You think? Okay, it's back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You can go ahead and start everything.
are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. So listen responsibly.
Louisville's own DJ Ice. DJ Ice. You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price. It's the best of the best. It's the one and only DJ Ice, Louisville's coldest DJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. So listen responsibly.
Two.
Good evening. Welcome to Conscious Fever. I'm Carl Price here on Conscious Fever Radio, Ice Entertainment Television. Thanks for joining me tonight here in Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks for being patient on this New Year's Eve. It is New Year's Eve. I hope you enjoyed the introduction for the show for New Year's Eve. Entertainment Television. But in any case, I'm Carl Price. This is Conscious Fever. Thanks for joining me. I see the various things. I'm just going to be playing with some gadgets here because that's just kind of what I do here. I want to say hello, Happy New Year to everybody. And believe it or not, it's good to be alive because 2020 has been literally a bitch. Yes, literally a bitch. Can I get that drum roll again? Yeah, it has literally been a bitch, and so many deaths, and so much sadness. So I am happy that if I'm allowed to get over the mountaintop, which is to 12:01 a.m. tonight, then I am one of the many, many lucky ones. So again, consider yourself lucky to still be alive because 2020 again was just a bitch. This is Conscious Fever. Thanks for joining me. This is, of course, is our last show for 2020, and just by a show of hands, how many of y'all just want to see 2020 just get the hell out of our life? Absolutely. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a couple of things tonight. One of the things that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about a few things. And I'm going to start off by saying, one, we're going to talk about ending the year. And part of the process of ending the year, we're going to do a presentation or present a presentation. I hope you all enjoy it, of everybody that we've lost, known and unknown, and those who unfortunately never knew that they were going to be famous until they got killed. We're going to also offer some honorary to them also. For instance, the lives of Arbery Arbery, Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Jonathan Price, Rashard Brooks, etc., etc. And as you know, in 2020, the list goes on. So we're going to do a little bit of that in our celebrity tribute. And in addition to that, we are going to talk about two subjects tonight because I think it's fitting to end this year with the topic of race. And if you want to churn in, you're welcome to churn in. Just, put a comment on the timeline below. If the producer feels it's warranted, then that comment will be shown, and we can talk about it. That's number one. In addition, so we're going to talk about some more racial incidents that just couldn't let 2020 get away just to happen. And if you all want to turn in and talk to us about it, that's perfectly fine. And we're also going to talk about a little bit. We have to come back to this Breonna Taylor issue for one reason, because now Louisville Metro Police Department has fired 2 other officers. I think we all knew that Joshua James was coming. That was the police officer that actually lied on the search warrant to procure or deceived Judge Mary Shaw to actually get the search warrant for Breonna Taylor's home. So that was sort of a foregone conclusion. But the other part here is Myles Cosgrove. Now, if you all are as surprised as I am that Myles Cosgrove has been fired, then, that's sort of, that is sort of great. Now, I'm looking at some of these comments. I never should do this, but I'm looking at this. It says, I need your welcome home video. Okay, I'll get you the welcome home video. That's my brother David. But in any case, but if y'all are surprised as I am that Myles Cosgrove was actually terminated, then you should be, because now it gives us more room to talk about why are they now firing the individual who shot the fatal bullet into Breonna Taylor. We won't talk about that, because I think it now is more obvious that we should have a situation where maybe Cosgrove should have been charged with murder. Y'all may agree with me, y'all may not agree with me, I don't know. But that's something we're going to talk about. So I'm going to show you this graphic, Justice for Breonna Taylor. Take a look at this. You see that there, producer? Justice for Breonna, in the purple. Justice for Breonna Taylor. Take a look at this graphic, and yes, we're going to talk about justice for Breonna Taylor, and of course, we're going to talk about the young lady in the hotel in New York City. Believe it or not, yes, New York City all over again. Racially profiling a young 14-year-old, thinking that he stole her iPhone, when in fact her iPhone was left. Her stupid ass left the iPhone in her Uber. So anyway, I'm gonna get some shout outs. Listen, Happy New Year. And I'm gonna start from the very top. Denise Garrett, thanks for joining me. Anita Chandler, as always. David Lackford, Happy New Year to you too, my friend. Alvin Brown, down the road in Lexington, Kentucky. Happy New Year to you. Beverly Joe Smith Eskridge, college roommate up in Chicago, you and your husband. Happy New Year. Edric Caldwell, thanks for joining us tonight. And Greg Freeman and Justin Janine. I don't know, I'm getting these alerts from Instagram. I posted a number of movie videos for Conscious Fever on IGTV. I hope y'all like them, but I'm still getting a lot of alerts. But anyway, Calvin Barber, thanks for joining us tonight. Listen, Happy New Year once again to everybody. The video that we showed at the very, very beginning of the show, we're going to show at the very end of the show to say Happy New Year, but we are not going to be here for midnight. So I'm going to show you this graphic again, Justice for Breonna Taylor. Check it out. Yes, we need justice for Breonna Taylor, and even more, we need justice for Breonna Taylor. So let's talk about some of this stuff tonight. And again, if you want to join in and drop a comment below, feel free to do so. But listen, before I talk about Breonna Taylor, I'm going to talk about the young lady in New York. Can y'all believe this? I mean, really, can you believe this? I need just a brief drum roll. A brief drum roll for that. Okay, so listen. So here we go. This young lady in New York City, y'all know the story, so I'm not going to repeat it for you. I'm not gonna rehash it all for you. I'm just going to say a young lady was just adamant that this young 14-year-old African American male took her phone and said he stole my phone. He's got my iPhone. Now there are a gazillion iPhones in this world. and probably a gazillion iPhones in New York City. And all of a sudden, she thought that this 14-year-old took her iPhone. Was it racial profiling? Was it all because of race? Or, as I often like to say, a cultural disconnect? I'm not sure. Y'all be the judge of that. I think it was my cross between race and a cultural disconnect. It's been said, and we'll say it again. You know, the last show I had, we didn't have a show Christmas Eve. The show before Christmas Eve, we talked about the young lady whose video was released from a couple of years ago, where the police had run into her house in Chicago and had gotten the wrong person, and just wouldn't believe for nothing in the world that they had the wrong place. So, in any case, here we are all over again. I hope I don't look too raggedy tonight, y'all. I just thought I would just kind of lighten things up. I mean, it's New Year's Eve, so I just didn't want to, come off as a little raggedy. What do you think, producer? Am I good? Okay, so he's giving me the thumbs up, so I must be good. So in any case, so let's talk about this. His father, who's a jazz artist, posted in Instagram the whole story, and many people responded, and one person responded, "You should have beat the hell out of the bitch." I don't know. I don't know. Some people says violence does not beget violence, but I'm gonna be honest with y'all. If that had been me and Reese in New York City in that hotel, I'll be calling some of you lawyers back here in Louisville to help me get out of jail, because I'd have beat the hell out of her. I literally would have beat the hell out of her. I would have been charged. Because sometimes people who are biased and don't know that they're biased, it's just like the fly on the vice president during the debate, right? He just didn't know it was there. So sometimes you just got to beat it out of them. Now, I'm not advocating violence. I'm just telling you naturally what I would have done, how I would have responded. If that's right to you, then that's right. If that's wrong to you, then that's wrong. But that's the way I would have responded. Just hands down. Happy New Year, Teresa Johnson. Thanks for joining me tonight. So anyway, that's exactly the way I would have responded. I mean, just hands down. So maybe I don't agree with this, but listen. But let's give some tribute to some of those who have passed away in 2020. Now, some of these you are going to know. Some maybe you're not going to know. But we've got 4 different segments of this. So I'm not going to show you any Conscious Fever promotions tonight, but what I am going to show you are the tributes that we're making to those who have passed away in 2020. So here's our first round. Are you ready, producer? Okay,
I'm waiting for you to get that time.
okay, I'm ready. I'm actually ready. If you're ready, I'm ready. But here's the tribute. Now, some of these faces are going to be familiar to you. Maybe some not. But check this out. All right, so some of these people you might be familiar with. Barbara Smith, the great chef and cook in New York City. We lost all of these people in 2020. Not all to COVID, just simply to circumstances. Some of the greater athletes, television shows, as you can see. Y'all remember some of these TV shows. We've lost these people. Maybe there's somebody you know. Maybe there's somebody you've never seen before. But there is the great Joe Morgan. Yeah, man, we lost all of these people this particular year, and we have to pay tribute to these individuals. Just for a moment, just to say that the work is not done. ESPN announcer Child tribute. Sharon says, you look fine. It was a culture disconnect. In her world, it has become acceptable to assume that a black person, still showing that? Okay, that a black, I'm sorry, y'all, that a black person is guilty until proven innocent. So that lady in New York was a creature of habit, reacting without thinking. Yeah, I agree with that. David. I'm looking at some of these comments, and my apologies. We are actually doing something different tonight. Just because we want to go into 2021 with a bang, and I'm going to let y'all in on it. Happy New Year. Tammy Coles up in the great state of Michigan. And listen, Tammy, I have to pause and just tell you, I got to take this personal privilege to say congratulations to you and James the Third, for James the Fourth. James the Fourth is now, I think I'm saying this right, James the Fourth. But anyway, your son is now a Morehouse man. He graduated, and that was just a wonderful thing. But thank you for making me a part of his life. Thank you for making me a part of his celebration last Saturday. I really, really appreciate that. But Happy New Year to you guys. Dr. Pruitt, do Louisvillians know how to have any joy? What does Dr. Pruitt mean by that? What does I'm going to give you a little funk for that, Dr. Pruitt. What kind of joy you want? Is that the kind of joy you want, Dr. Pruitt? Anyway, I'll give you that type of joy, but I don't know. I mean, I'm just producer. Does she get a drum? DJ Ice? Okay. Listen, Dr. Pruitt, I don't know. I don't know what kind of joy you're talking about, but in any case, we'll give you that joy. Teresa Johnson, Happy New Year. Dr. Pruitt, Happy New Year to you. And one of my co-hosts here from Conscious Fever, Mr. Ya, Happy New Year to you too, sir. I hope this is a safe day for everybody. But in any case, Dr. Pruitt said yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, I never could just type. I mean that's an emotional yes, like yes, like, yes. Okay, you know. In any case, listen, I got to remind y'all of something, just so y'all would not forget. The South Preston Street podcast. You can listen to that on Anchor FM. It is also where you can find Conscious Fever Radio. We've got some good discussions on Anchor FM and on South Preston Street podcast. South Preston Street podcast is a podcast where we sit around with people on I can't do this show without looking at the comments in it. But anyway, Dr. Pruitt, our friend down in Knoxville, Tennessee, said that the L in Louisville is capitalized. Okay? And he's a Tennessean. I guess he knows that. But in any case, what was I saying?
South Preston.
Oh, South Preston Street. Listen, the South Preston Street podcast. You got to go check it out on Anchor FM. If you don't want to check it out on Anchor FM, check it out on Spotify. It's there. It is an opportunity where black men just sit around and just talk about things. We talk about health. We talk about race. We talk about cultures. We talk about women. So, you know, check us out. And actually, we had a conversation about Breonna Taylor and the whole Breonna Taylor case. So if you haven't seen that, you know, just sort of check it out. Listen, let me talk about, if I can, okay, we have somber times, but goodness. Let's express some joy sometimes. That's for you. That's for you, Dr. Pruitt. We're going to always just do that for you. Every time you give us a good comment, you know, I am a passionate woman. Ooh, I'm a passionate woman. Dr. Pruitt, that's for you. You're a passionate woman. We're going to get the audience to react. Your audio seems to be off, by about 6 seconds. Yeah, John, I apologize for that. It is going to be off, but we're okay. Just roll with us. Just roll with us with this tonight, and then we're gonna work on that. But we're streaming from several different places, and I would tell you that one of the things that I was going to tell you guys before I started reading comments is that we are actually on Restream. If you've ever checked out Restream, we have a new format and platform. We're going from Restream. So we are actually on Facebook Live now. We're actually on YouTube Live now. We're actually on Twitch Live now. And we're actually on the Conscious Fever page live as well as my personal page live. So
if they comment on the Conscious Fever Live page, I can pull it up.
yeah, and if you want to comment, if you want to put your comments on the Conscious Fever Live page where we're streaming from, we can see your comments and we can actually post your comments. So in any case, let's talk a little bit about that you actually know. So Miles Cosgrove, and actually, I'm going to show you our graphic and just say, actually, producer, let's just go to another tribute. So we're gonna do another tribute, and then I'm gonna get a graphic together where we can show you all about this situation with the officer, and I'm gonna tell y'all why, if they fired him, what we need to do to ask the right questions to determine why he hasn't been charged with murder. And again, I know Miles, he's a cool guy, but I really do believe this is murder. So check out this tribute, and then I'll be right back. Once again, we are paying tribute to those we have lost in 2020, and I hope that you all can appreciate it. Arbery, a number of athletes we lost this year. I don't know if y'all were aware of that, but we lost a number of athletes. Louisville's own Wes Unseld, somebody that got away from us. And you can see there some of the names. If you don't recognize them, I'll remind you. Rashard Brooks was killed. Jonathan Price was killed by the police. George Floyd was killed. Black man killed by the police. Manuel Ellis killed by the police. He was killed by the police. Also, of course, Louisville's own Breonna Taylor. So this is just a tribute that we want to make here from Louisville. He had cancer for so long, nobody thought that he was ever going to get away. Betty Wright, the Do Right woman, she got away from us. So many people. And I'm not sure. And of course, the great John Lewis, way too soon. He lived in the 70s and 80s and still Brother Jackson passed away. Yeah, it's just so many. And the young African woman, of course, the great Ruth Bader Ginsburg, of the United States Supreme Court. They all got away from us, and to our credit, to their credit, we miss them dearly. So, yeah, absolutely good trouble. Absolutely good trouble, Greg Freeman. But in any case, I want to talk about, you got the graphic for Justice for Breonna Taylor. I want to talk about, now if we can, I want to talk about justice for Breonna. Oops, I did something wrong, didn't I? I shouldn't have done that. There we go. Justice for Breonna Taylor. This is why we need justice for Breonna Taylor now. I'm just going to go through this with y'all, and if I'm not in sync with the sound, just quite yet, just bear with me. But this is the reason why we need more justice for Breonna Taylor. Because this week, the interim chief sent a predetermination letter. Predetermination, that's a letter that basically says, I'm going to fire you. Okay? And there's nothing you can do about it. Now, of course, there's a process that these officers must be afforded and can go through, and they will go through. But at the end of the day, they're going to be fired. I wonder what is now the basis for firing Myles Cosgrove. Because you remember what the Attorney General said. The Attorney General said, absolutely not. The officer who shot the fatal bullet, which we know was Myles Cosgrove, should not be charged. And I'm curious as to why he said that. So now we should demand, as the public, we should demand the text messages between Cosgrove, Mattingly, and Hankinson, and any other police officers. You know, we should demand that. In addition to that, we should demand the whole investigation that pertains to Myles Cosgrove. Because if he did nothing wrong to be charged, then the question becomes, why are they firing him? Is it because he didn't have his body camera on? Well, if that's the case, they should fire a lot of LMPD officers that have gone out on the duty and didn't turn their body cameras on. Here's what I'm going to tell you all, and I just want y'all to digest this for a second. This is the reason I think they're firing him. And I don't know, I'm not in Chief Gentry's mind, Interim Chief Gentry's mind, but this is why I think it is. Because when you go back and look at the footage, and some of y'all who have listened to the South Preston Street podcast, y'all have heard this, the segment on Breonna Taylor. If you go back and look at the whole investigation, listen to the grand jury tapes, listen to all the internal affairs interview, because understand from the internal affairs interviews this, that there were officers who had nothing to lose by telling the truth and everything to gain. They were not a part of it. They didn't want to be a part of it, so they told the truth. And when you listen to all of their interviews, this is what you're going to discover. And I wish we had a graphic for this because this would be so much better. But you're going to discover that at 12:43 a.m. on that unfortunate morning that Breonna Taylor was tragically killed, Officer Mattingly, or Detective Mattingly, Sergeant Mattingly, radioed to dispatch and said he had been hit. So what does that tell us? Here's what that tells us. That tells us that at 12:43 and no later, Kenneth Walker had to have shot his gun. Now, it's debatable as to whether that bullet that he shot landed in Mattingly or not. But we know for sure, and this is important, I want y'all to pay attention to this, 12:43. If he's radioing, Sergeant Mattingly is radioing and saying, I've been hit, officer down, however they do it. If he did that, he did it at 12:43. We know also, let's pause for a second, we know that Kenneth Walker only shot one time. So if he only shot one time, then it had to have been before 12:43, right? Had to have been before 12:43, because he says, I've been shot at 12:43. Here's the kicker, y'all. The Attorney General, and I suspect that this is going to be verified in the medical reports and the medical documents, the Attorney General said that the medical examiner put Breonna Taylor's death at 12:48 a.m. Then he said the fatal bullet that came from Myles Cosgrove's pistol or firearm would have killed her, or would have been fatal, i.e. would have killed her as soon as a few seconds after it entered her body, or as soon or as late as, or no longer than 2 minutes after it entered her body. So I want y'all to marinate on that. There was nobody else shooting in that apartment towards those officers after 12:43. Period. No other officer shooting in that apartment. No other individuals. Kenneth Walker didn't shoot after 12:43, but she got the fatal bullet at 12:48. Okay. Now let's assume that the bullet was fatal seconds after it had entered her body, just like the Attorney General said, the medical examiner verified. Then that means that there's a 5-minute period. 5 minutes. 60 seconds times 5 is what? 130 seconds. Is that right? 130 seconds. 6, 6, 6, 6. That's more than that, right? 6, 120, 120, 120. So it's 360 seconds. No, less than that. Anyway, less than that. But you get the point. It's actually 300 seconds. Okay? So 300 seconds or 5 whole minutes. If you believe that the fatal bullet killed Breonna Taylor within seconds. So you got 5 minutes. 12:43, he's hit, so that's the last shot. No other bullets are coming out of Breonna Taylor's apartment. But it wasn't until 12:48 that this bullet fatally killed her. Okay, let's assume then that the bullet was fatal for the whole 2 minutes. It took 2 minutes for her to die after being hit with that fatal bullet. So now that gives us 3 minutes. 60, 60, 60. It's 180 seconds. Think about that. 180 seconds where there's no threat to LMPD. This couldn't have been self-defense, y'all. Notwithstanding the fact that you can't get to self-defense in Kentucky by killing an innocent person or injuring an innocent person. So I want y'all to think about that. Now, so even if you give them the benefit of the doubt, even if it took her 2 minutes to pass away from that fatal bullet, it's a 3-minute gap. 3-minute gap. 3-minute gap. Minimum. As much as a 5-minute gap. Where no bullets came out of Kenneth Walker's gun. He's the only one that had the gun. Remember this discussion about, or this debate about whether Breonna Taylor had gunpowder residue on her hand or anything and all of that stuff? BS. She didn't have any. It's only one bullet. And he said he shot in self-defense. And I believe it. And I think a lot of people around the world believe it. He shot in self-defense. But 12:43, I want y'all to remember that 12:43 to 12:48. 12:43, he shoots the so-called threatening bullet. Now here's the kicker. Everybody assumed that Myles Cosgrove was behind Jonathan Mattingly at the time. He was not. Because if he was, then he was sitting there just fired off at nothing right outside that door into the dark. That's murder, y'all. That's murder. So why am I saying all of this? Because now it becomes more and more evident that somebody needs to look a little bit closer at possible homicide charges against somebody at LMPD. And we know that Myles Cosgrove shot the fatal bullet. But until somebody can explain that timeline, it becomes problematic. It becomes problematic. Pressing charges means they would have to go to trial and other names will come involved, like their lead commander or detective that approved the raid and the judge that signed the warrant. What would taking this to trial mean? I'll tell you what taking this to trial mean. BB Toomey, I'll tell you what it means. What it means is that many, many more heads will fall. But listen, it won't be a surprise. I can tell you that there are individuals in Metro government as well as Metro Police Department that already know who's exposed as a result of this Breonna Taylor investigation. Not just Mattingly, Cosgrove, and Hankinson, and Joshua James, Michael Campbell. Not just them. A lot more people that are potentially exposed. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm just putting that out there. I'm just putting that out there for y'all to think about. So, I think that's a good question. Not enough questions being asked and answered about the whole Breonna Taylor situation that night. That's right. You're absolutely right. There's not enough questions. That's why we're asking them here. Well, I want you to think tonight, Tammy. I want y'all to think about this because I've been thinking about this since February. I was the first one that said, why isn't Hankinson charged with wanton endangerment back in February?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, back in March. I said it back in March. Why isn't he charged with wanton endangerment? You know,
I think it was February.
Was it February when we had the show?
Because when after I did my thing and we talked about it, and I think I was like,
And that was
show.
when, Judge Stevens did,
That was during the whole.
So I've been saying that, from day one. But now that we know all of these facts, and remember what Cameron said. Remember what he said. Remember what the Attorney General said at his press conference. He said only one officer entered Breonna Taylor's apartment. The first and only, I think were his words, first and only officer that entered Breonna Taylor's apartment was Jonathan Mattingly, no other officers. So what does that mean? If Cosgrove did not enter the apartment, then that means he had to be outside shooting blindly into the dark. And remember, Cosgrove said in his statement, if y'all haven't listened to it, I have, so I'll tell you. He said in his statement that he was shooting because he saw fire inside the apartment. Now remember, the fatal bullet hit her at 12:48. So all that downtime, I just want y'all to embrace this just for a second. Just embrace this for a second. With all of that commotion, y'all might say, 3 minutes is nothing, 5 minutes is nothing, and all of that. But with all of that commotion, that's a long time. That's a long time. Officer just got hit. Anyway, I want to give y'all something to think about. No debate if they did ballistics. Absolutely. Tammy, you said you're making us the investigating 101. Follow the evidence. You always have to follow the evidence. We're going to follow one more thing here. We're going to take another break and show you some more people who we have unfortunately lost in 2020. And then we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about this. But continue to give us your comments because I think this should rev up the protest all over again. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. In any case, we'll be right back. Here's another tribute to those we've lost in 2020. It's interesting. If things are the same except one thing, the people in the apartment are white, would there have been shots fired at all, or would there have been a long drawn out standoff? You know the answer to that, David. You know the answer to that. It would have been a standoff. How many times have we seen visuals or images on the TV where there was a standoff and all of a sudden a white boy comes out in handcuffs? How many times have you seen that with a black man coming out in handcuffs? I think I've seen it one time. I mean, hell, the guy in Columbus, right? The most recent one, the guy in Columbus, you know, he was in his garage. Well, can't be in our living room, can't be in your bedroom, can't be in your apartment,
in your car.
sleeping in your bed, can't be in your car. Now you can't be in your damn garage.
Can't even be taking a shower or nothing.
Can't be taking a shot. Can't do anything. You know, what's interesting is that so to answer your question, David, absolutely not. This would have we wouldn't be having this conversation if the person was white.
You remember that federal judge in New York that fought the police over his wife?
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's so many images out there, and I just can't believe that people continue to say that we don't have a systemic problem. You know, with the system. Yeah, Tammy, we haven't gotten to him, but I think he's in our floater in our presentation also. Charlie Pride, a country star, black man that sung country and did it good too. He was one of the best. I bet y'all thought my man, what's his name? Old Town Road. Oh, I'm gonna. He's not the
Lil
black guy
Nas
that
X.
sings country. All right.
Lil Nas X.
Yeah. What's his name?
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas X. Yeah. Lil
You see
Nas.
he's wearing drag now.
I'm not surprised. Actually, they don't call him Lil Nas X. They call him Lil Nas Extra. That's a saying for him. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyway, but he wasn't the first country one. It was Charlie Pride, and we lost Charlie Pride this year also. But no, but this, you know, but so I don't, you know, I mean, where can we go? Let me tell you what I was doing earlier as I was working. I was working in my office earlier, and I was listening to the great debate of William Buckley at Cambridge University and James Baldwin. Have y'all heard that debate? If y'all haven't heard that debate, you need to go on YouTube and get it and be a part of the 264 million people who have. Okay? It is a debate from 1965 where he's talking about race. And he's talking about the condition of African Americans. He was referring to them as Negroes at the time. And man, it will blow you away. It will blow you away. In fact, we're going to use it as a soundbite sometimes. I don't know how we're looking on time. But in any case, okay, they're telling me we have 10 minutes left. But yeah, man. So this thing, I don't know what 2021 is going to bring us in terms of race relations. I mean, for a moment, I thought we kind of had a hold on the police in terms of now recognizing that there are certain things you can't do. But if this thing is just systemic, and if it's really just it's like an ingrown hair that no matter how many times you shave it, you know, it's not going to go away. It's always going to come back, and that's always going to be a problem. 21 is not going to be any different. But I would tell y'all one thing. I would leave y'all with this one note. I'm not ready to go yet, but when I'm ready, but I'm going to tell y'all this before we go and show this last presentation on the last tribute. In all of these cases, you know, Tamir Rice, I heard that the federal government is not going to bring civil right violation charges against the police officers against Tamir Rice. Remember, Tamir Rice was the 7 or 8 year old boy that had a toy gun like we all used to have when we were kids. And the police run up on him and they shoot him and kill this young boy. Now, yeah, his family got $6 million, but I wouldn't trade $6 million for a loved one. I just wouldn't do it. So, you know, I'm not sure how we need to approach 2021. You know, I think what's the name? the Amazon ex-wife that's giving all the money,
I can't think of her name.
Melinda Scott.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's going to take more than her giving millions and millions to HBCUs to really make the change. You really got to get into the system of these of these departments and change the culture. And if you're not going to do that, then you just got to take matters into your own hands. So how do you take matters into your own hand? I'm going to tell you how you take matters into your own hand. Particularly here in Kentucky, and probably in Ohio also, there are some states who don't have a statute of limitations, people, on felonies. Okay? What that means is that you can always bring a felony charge, even 20 years later, so long as the evidence is preserved. I think the fight today in Breonna Taylor here in Kentucky should be making sure that the Attorney General and everybody secure all of the evidence. Now, unfortunately, if they try Brett Hankinson, jeopardy is going to attach. So he may come a few years later and say, well, I shot the face. It was me. I shot the gun. Come up with a story just to save some of the other officers. But what you need to be focusing on is galvanizing a political team and a political rival to run for Commonwealth's attorney, district attorney here, as well as the Attorney General's office. And before you vote for them and commit your resources to this candidate, make sure that this candidate promises that he or she is going to impanel a grand jury when he or she gets into office and charge these officers, period. And do what Attorney General Cameron has not done. Present the case to the grand jury. That's all you have to do. Quit begging them. Quit begging them for a special prosecutor. Quit begging for this and begging for that. As in the words of Dr. Pruitt, quit begging. I saw her clip again where she said, why are we doing this? Why are we on our knees? You get off your knees. Quit doing that. Just take the time now. You got time to do it. Galvanize. Find a candidate who is going to commit when he or she gets into office as the Commonwealth's attorney or the Attorney General, is going to bring charges against it, is going to impanel a grand jury and do another investigation and charge the officers. There's no statute of limitation. Why do y'all think these priests get charged for rape when they were 25 years old? Because it's a felony, and felonies don't go away with time. So that's just food for thought. I think that's what y'all probably ought to think about doing instead of wasting and using all of your resources. So we got one more tribute. I'm gonna give y'all this tribute, and we're gonna come back and talk about really quickly some New Year's resolutions. This is Conscious Fever with Funky Tonight. We'll be right back. showed Chadwick. We lost Joe Negro and whatchamacallit? What's the name? Just sit right back and you hear a tale of a legend.
Gilligan's Island. We lost Gilligan?
We lost Mary Ann.
Oh, Mary, that's right.
Remember at the beginning of the song, it said, the professor and Mary Ann here on Gilligan's Island. Yeah, we lost Mary Ann, y'all. Mary Ann was one of the finest ones on Gilligan's Island. She was the finest one. As long as officers can kill without accountability, things will stay the same. So with officers being fired and prosecuted, there is hope that things will slowly begin to change. Might be at a turtle's crawl, but it's changed nonetheless. Yep, I agree with that, David. I like the music, Carl. Where is it from? I have no idea. I do very little of the production here. Actually, my production company, Carl Price Digital Media, my son actually put that together. So I don't know where he got the music from, but it's good piano music. Yeah, Phil Negro. I don't know why I know we had a clip with Phil Negro and Mary Ann. I didn't see it. Maybe I missed it. Dr. Mary Levi Smith, the first female president of Kentucky State University. Yep, Tammy, I forgot about her. I didn't know she died this year, though. Go into 2021 with silver, gold, and protection, creating businesses, operating in the private sector, growing your own food, and expecting the best. Dr. Pruitt, that's spot on. That is spot on. Why don't y'all give Dr. Pruitt a round of applause? Yeah, man, that would be great. That would really be great, and we can do that. I mean, we can. All it takes is just a collaborative effort. We can do that. Go into 21 with silver, gold, and protection, creating businesses, operating in the private sector, growing your own food, and expecting the best. Yep. Dawn Wells. Yeah, Dawn Wells. Don't sing. Don't sing? Okay, I won't. But listen, y'all, it's been a little funky tonight. But I wanted to come here for New Year's Eve and do the New Year's Eve thing before I went in. But I want to remind y'all about Anchor FM and Conscious Fever Radio. Remember Conscious Fever Radio, and we're on Anchor FM. And you can get there by just typing in anchor.fm, anchor.fm. We don't play music there, but Anchor FM, you can catch Conscious Fever Radio anytime, 24 hours a day. We're on there just talking really, really good subjects. And of course, you can always catch us on the South Preston podcast on Anchor FM. There are 14 really good segments on there. Real good with one of our co-hosts here on the show, John Yah. Really, really good stuff. I am going to, in the course of wishing y'all a Happy New Year, I am going to show y'all the Conscious Fever Happy New Year shebang again. We're about an hour and a half away from 2021, and I'll just pray that everybody stays safe. Just make it to 2021. I am going to get just a little bit personal here, so y'all just be quiet a second. All right. I am so happy to see 2021. The next hour and a half, I am going to be so happy. And the reason I'm going to be so happy because with all the strange and crazy shit that has happened in 2020, I thought I was going to lose somebody that I really, really love in 2020. I thought when I first knew that she was in the hospital, I thought to myself, oh my God, 2020 is caught up with us. But to God be the glory. She is out of the hospital. She's at home, doing much, much better. and I'm gonna go see her before I leave here. I'm not gonna get too personal, other than to say that I love her dearly, and I know that if she makes it to 2021, which I believe she will, for this next hour and a half, I'm certain she will in the next hour and a half, because she's in our care now, then she's gonna be okay. So, but 2020 has been just a horrible year. But I wanna leave y'all once again with this wish of Happy New Year and 2020. This is something we put together for you here at Conscious Fever. And then right after that, I'm gonna come back and just wish you all goodbye. And then after that, we're gonna go into our famous end credits for the last time this year. So here's our wish for a Happy New Year to you. Check this out one more time. Hey, Happy New Year, y'all. I hope 2021 is so much better than 2020. I love y'all all. Thanks for hanging out with me on this New Year's Eve. Go out, celebrate in some particular way. Go out of the room that you're in, not actually out of the house, because we still need to comply with this pandemic stuff. Yeah, Cheryl Graves up in New York City. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year, David. Just Happy New Year to everybody. So I thought about my New Year's resolution. And I know what my New Year's resolution is going to be. And I'm not going to sing the song. I'm just going to try to quote these lyrics. Because I'm going to move closer to my God. That's my resolution. It's not going to be the physical thing, but and it's not going to be the physical thing, right? So I'm going to move closer to my God, you know. And so I always just listen so much to this young man, and I always and his lyrics just motivate me. You know, may your struggles keep you near the cross. May your troubles know that you need God. May your battles end up the way they should. And may your bad days prove that God is good. May your whole life prove that God is good. And may your whole 2020 prove that God is good. So when you're talking about, Happy New Year, John. When you're talking about a New Year's resolution, here's what I would suggest you do. Everybody goes running to the gym, which frustrates all of us weightlifters. Just frustrates us. Because you come there for about 5 days and then you're gone. You crowd up, you take up all the machines and it's gone. And I know it's going to be a little bit different this year with the pandemic, but try something different this year. Everybody talks about getting physically in shape. Have you ever thought about getting mentally in shape? And spiritually in shape? That should be your resolution this year. You know, if you have Apple TV, there's a channel that they have called Calm. And you can just listen to the most calmest music while you meditate. Breathe in. Hold it. And back back out. And if you do that in the morning, in the middle of the day, and at night, you will be so much more refreshed the next day and sometimes the rest of the week. So all I'm suggesting to you is that if you're thinking about making a New Year's resolution and it's about going to the gym, get the gym. Or go to the gym, but in addition to the gym, for the equal amount of time you put in the gym, put some time into being mentally and spiritually fit as well. And meditation is one of them that can really work for you. So in any case, I'm Carl Price. This has been Conscious Fever. We will see you next week. Happy New Year, everybody. I love y'all.
I was born by the river in a little tent. Like the river I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Oh yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it is. Then I go to my brother. And I say, brother, help me please. But he wind up knocking back down on the knee. There've been times that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able, Father, to carry on. And it's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes it is. Yes it is. Yes it is. Said I know that a change is gonna come one day. I know a change gonna come. Yes it is. I know. Said life can be hard. Oh yeah. And times can get rough, but still I know. Still I know a change
opportunities to overcome, to better ourselves, be better versions of ourselves. I know for 2021, my goal is always the same goal, is to be a better version of myself than 2020, okay? Because everything that happens in our community starts with us individually first. And I think it's important that we keep our minds in the right place, our spirits in the right place, and our hearts in the right place. A lot of people do physical New Year's resolutions, like I want to look better, I want my body to be better. And I agree with something that Carl just said, and he said that we never really try to better our spirit, right? We always trying to better that physical every year, but let's be in our best shape spiritually this year, emotionally this year, intellectually this year. Let's be in our best space on all of these levels this year, so that as we continue in this work as the great people that we are, and the loving and caring people that we are, to even be out here and to put ourselves out here, that we make sure that we are in our best health, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, so that we're bringing the best versions of ourselves as we continue to push forward for the ancestors and all the people that we just lost. And if you don't check out the show, I mean, you can check it out on my Facebook if you're on my Facebook, because we did a great thing about all the people we lost in 2020, and we did a great tribute to that, and you probably know a lot of people on there. But without further ado, I want Carl to come on here and share the little piece that he just shared on the show.
Hello, everybody. Happy New Year to you. And I'm going to share this with you. Just these 5 lines. May your struggles keep you near the cross. May your troubles know that you need God. May your battles end up the way they should. May your bad days prove that God is good. May your whole life prove that God is good. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, y'all. That's all I got. Peace and love.
See you all next year.
It's not on there.
Don't forget to show the last slide we have there, Greg.